Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, a podcast focused on holistic health, nutrition, biohacking, and more. I'm your host, Brittany Ford, registered holistic nutritionist and self-proclaimed biohacker. During the last 10 years, I've focused on healing my gut and hormonal issues through lifestyle changes, nutrition, and of course, biohacks. And now I teach others to do the same. I'm so excited you're joining me today, so let's dive right in. Well, welcome to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm really excited about this episode because we are diving into the supplement world. I have taken so many supplements in my life, probably for the last 11 years or so, and taken all sorts of ones, honestly. And it's very interesting. Some definitely make a difference and some definitely don't. So today we have Dr. Dan with us. He is the Chief Scientific Officer at Brilliant, a supplement company focused on finding new bioactive compounds to create products that help you discover your inner brilliance, which I just love. So, Dr. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brittany. Pleasure to be with you.
Amazing. So, to kick us off, I would love for you to tell us about yourself and your background and how you got to Brilliant.
Yeah, so I'm a natural products chemist by training. So I travel around the world studying compounds and plants. I have a PhD in that field in natural products chemistry. And I've just always been in awe about the beauty of the world around us. And when I was younger, I started talking with traditional medicine people, people who would use different plants and roots in the mountains. And then when I travel around, I would talk with people. And it fascinated me that they would use natural compounds from plants for all these different health conditions, even when they didn't, they didn't have really scientific tools to analyze these compounds. And so I got into that. I started isolating, studying compounds from plants and using them in different formulas. I did that as a professor. I did that for a previous company. And then with two other partners, I founded Brilliant, and we're doing that here at a really high level.
Cool. Cool. So, what type of products or supplements does Brilliant currently offer?
So we currently offer three products. They're named Connect, Defend, and Enhance.
And how are these different from like other supplements on the market?
Yeah, so one of the key differentiators of Brilliant is we focus on doing cutting edge science. Now, all companies will say that, but really what we do that other companies don't is we go into plants and we specifically pull out bioactive natural compounds due to our capabilities that we have in our lab, and we use those in our formulations. The other thing that we do is we run clinical studies on all of our formulations. A lot of people, when they say they run clinical studies, they run clinical studies on a single ingredient in their formula, but not on the entire formula. And so it's this combination of plant discovery, bioactive compounds, formulation from scratch, patents, and clinical studies. Here at Brilliant, we never ever launch a product if it's similar to something else that's already on the market. That's not our style.
That's very cool. I love that you actually test the supplement as a whole instead of only just doing the single ingredients. I've actually haven't heard of that, and I think that is definitely something that differentiates your products.
Yeah, we focus on doing pharmaceutical grade science in the supplement space. I did some
Mm.
work in medchem, and we have four PhDs and two masters on my team, and several of them have worked in pharma before. So we're basically a pharma drug discovery group that's working in the supplement space.
Cool. I really do love that. So, what type of benefits do people typically see from using your supplements?
Yeah, so the first product is called Connect. It helps to regulate the biosignaling pathways in the body. So one way to think of a simplistic way to think about it is the body's like an electrical grid with signals going back and forth. And lifestyle factors, stress, anxiety, poor diet, lack of sleep, lack of exercise can actually cause these electrical signals to go on the fritz. So it's kind of like brownouts in the city. And we have discovered natural products from plants that can actually bring these signals back into balance. So with Connect, what people feel is they feel an increase in energy. This product has no caffeine, so it's natural energy, mood, productivity, mindset. And we've had several people report that it helps a lot with PMS during the month.
Really? That's so interesting. Huh. I'm gonna have to look more into your product because it sounds very similar to a nootropic. Like I'm sure you know what nootropics are,
Yeah.
but I've never heard of people connecting that with or women connecting that with PMS. So wow.
Yeah, and we've studied other nootropics, and they don't seem. A lot of them don't seem to have that activity. It's when we combine them and some newly discovered compounds that we found in plants. When we combine them together, that's why we're seeing this benefit, and it's really exciting.
Mm. So is your Connect product the best selling product that you guys have?
They're actually all about equal.
Mm.
So each of our products use a different type of technology. So our Connect uses our patent pending biosignaling technology. We have two clinical studies on that. Our second product is called Defend, and it's an immune health product. Now, obviously, immune
Mm.
health is super hot right now. This product was developed actually before the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah, I just ask because I feel like nootropics as a whole has become very, very popular in the last 2 years.
Mm.
Like I see more and more brands online with coming out with different formulas and different types. And so I feel like this idea of using supplements to enhance brain function is very, very trendy right now. So it's curious to see that although that is happening, all of your products are doing very well.
Yeah, yeah, nootropics, no doubt, are big. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, um, mood and cognition, mental health issues are huge, right? And
Yeah.
I think you and I were talking before. Mental health. It was kind of taboo to talk about it, but the reality is, we all struggle from time to time, and
Hmm.
mental health and mental stress is just part of life. So to have something that can help bridge that gap, and help us to feel better and have a better mindset is really important. And that's what supplementation is meant to do. It's meant to bridge that gap from where we can be, our innate potential, as we call it at Brilliant, and where we are. We need something to bridge it, and that's what we try to do.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. You briefly touched upon COVID, and one of the things I wanted to actually ask you was how do you think COVID has impacted the supplement industry in general?
Yeah, I think there's two things. Obviously, immune health. People
Hmm.
have looked to supplements in order to support and promote the immune system, which is a big deal. It's been around for a long time. So, immune health is something that is big. I think it's changed our outlook and our perception on immune health. A lot of people knew that there were immune health products before, but I think going forward, an immune health product is going to be a staple for a lot of people in their diets. So that's one thing. I think in general, though, supplementation has gone up, right? People realize
Hmm.
that having something that they can use every day to take care of their health, kind of a proactive wellness approach rather than going down the reactive wellness side, is important, and people are seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And yeah, I think it's interesting that it's not just the immune supplements that are doing better or that are growing, it's kind of the supplement industry as a whole. Um, I've always I'm a nutritionist by trade, and it's interesting when I studied nutrition, there's kind of this debate of can we get all of our nutrients that we need from food or do we need supplementation? And so I personally fall on the side of we need supplementation because I don't think our food quality is good enough anymore. But I'm very curious, as you know, with your extensive educational background, like where do you stand on that debate?
Yeah, I'm very much with you, Brittany. When you look at foods, fruits, and vegetables, they contain micronutrients, they contain macronutrients, and then they contain a really important class of compounds called phytonutrients, which are
Mm.
small natural products, organic compounds from plants that are really the medicinal component of plant. They help to regulate gene expression, the chemical switches in the body. They regulate antioxidant status, and a whole host of other features. Natural products, like we talked about in Connect, regulate biosignaling. immune health, and a few other things. So phytonutrients are super important. And as you know, the modern processed diet, yes, it contains vitamins and minerals, but it's devoid of these life-saving phytonutrients. And another thing that's really interesting when we talk about lifestyle factors, one of the ones we don't think about is soil depletion. Many
Hmm.
clinical studies have shown that the soil that our plants are grown in, even with fertilizers and trying to take care of it, are not as rich as soil from 50, 100 years ago. So the food that we're eating and the phytonutrient concentration in that food has diminished significantly. It's not as high as the food our parents ate and certainly our grandparents ate.
I want to interrupt this episode to talk to you about Emphies. Emphies is the EMF blocking underwear made for women by women that I am developing. So it is cute, it is comfy, it protects your female reproductive parts from radiation, from your cell phone, from computers, from Wi Fi, all of the different technologies and really intense signals that are constantly around us that have now proven to impact our fertility, menstrual cycles, and yeah, female hormonal health. So this underwear is coming out very soon. I'm launching the pre sale in April. And if you are not on the list, the waiting list, you need to get on that ASAP. If you are on that list, you'll get an extra discount compared to everybody else publicly. So definitely get on that list. And the way to do that is through the link in the show notes or the link in my bio on Instagram as well, and you can just sign up right there. So that's Emphies, EMFIES. You can also follow us on Instagram and watch out for that. It's really exciting. We have multiple styles coming, something for everyone. And most importantly, it's cute and comfortable because the couple of pairs that are on the market right now are basically granny panties. So I wanted to create something that I would actually wear. And I would definitely wear this pair every single day. Um, yeah, so check it out and get ready for that coming in April very soon. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It would be amazing to get everything that we need from food in a very abundant amount and not need to supplement. Um, but I just don't think we're at that point anymore. And and especially if you are somebody who's eating the standard American diet, let alone a healthy diet, you know what I mean? Like you
Mhm.
definitely need some sort of support. Um, whether it's something for mental health or immune health or something else like supplements. Yeah, I totally agree and believe in supplements. And I've used them very often.
Yeah. People who say, well, just exercise and eat healthy, they, we assume that that's the assumption that we live in a bubble, right?
Mhm.
That the world is perfect, and it's not, right? It's just like saying we'll never ever get stressed, right? Ever again, or never ever, eat a piece of pizza or soda or whatever. It's just not realistic, right? And so
Mhm.
supplementation really helps to complement what we're doing and to complement our best efforts and help us be our best self.
Yeah, totally. So, what are the typical, not problems, but concerns or issues that you see with a lot of supplement brands on the market right now?
There's a few. A lot of supplements are all the same. I would say the supplement industry is pretty stale. All the
Mm,
formulas are pretty, they're similar when you look at it on the shelf at a grocery store or wherever you're at. The formulas are pretty similar, and the reason for that is there's not a lot of innovation. It's really easy nowadays to start a supplement company. um, you get together with some partners, you say, hey, we want to develop a line of nootropics, right? You don't need to know a lot of science. You can go to a contract manufacturer and say, hey, I want a nootropic product, and they have one that off the shelf that they already sell to many other clients. They give it to you. They sprinkle in a little bit of a proprietary blend to make your formula different, and you put your label on it, and away you go. And so it's quite stale. Number one, and then number two, the other thing that happens a lot is concentration. The amount of bioactives is obviously critical for human health and effective supplementation. And a lot of formulas, they include really low amounts, not at efficacious amounts. So they include something pixie dusting,
Mhm.
witch's brew sort of thing to have it on the label, but there's really no substance to it. And hence, there's really no good bioactivity for that supplement. So those are two of the major issues in the industry today.
Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty surprising how quickly you could probably put together a supplement brand. Um, yeah, with pre-formulated supplements, I guess. Something I've kind of been back and forth about is, do I buy supplements that are synthetic based, or should I go out and only get ones that are natural in ingredients? So, like vitamin C, you can just get it as ascorbic acid, or do you actually want to get it from, camu camu, or like a different type of like fruit or something in the ingredient list? Like, do you think that type of like difference matters, or do you think it's going to be about the same in the body?
Um, it depends on what you're trying to do. Uh, there's a synergistic effect when you have when you use vitamins and minerals from plants, because when you use
Mm.
vitamin C from camu camu or acai or something like that, you're pulling out the vitamin C, but you're also pulling out trace amounts of phytonutrients, and so those can change the activity. If you're using vitamin C or vitamins and minerals just for really standard processes in the body, then synthetic is going to be pretty much the same as a natural source. But if you're really trying to get other health benefits and uh, and hit other targets, then getting vitamins and minerals from natural sources are good because again, other bioactives are pulled along with that ingredient.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It's much more holistic in the approach. Um, yeah. So, in terms of the supplement industry moving forward, what do you predict for your own company? But also, what do you predict for the supplement industry for the next 10 years or so?
Great question. With our own company, we're really excited. We have many new technologies. We have this biosignaling technology for our first product. For our second product, we're using a quorum sensing technology, which basically means we're inhibiting the crosstalk of bad bacteria so that we support immune health in a new mechanism, a new way that hasn't been seen. We have a product called Enhance that increases the bioavailability of nutrients in the cell. So it prevents good phytonutrients from leaking out of the cell. So for our company, we're really excited. The future is new technologies. It's not going to be enough in the future, in the next 5 or 10 years, for people to just sell run of the mill supplements that they white label from a contract manufacturer. And I think
Mm.
the FDA is going to demand more rigorous science. And I think if you don't do rigorous science moving forward, you're going to get left behind. And so we're positioned really well here at Brilliant. We focus on doing science, pharmaceutical grade science, and other companies need to do the same if they want to stick around. And consumer trust is big. You know, a lot of consumers are starting to see through the fluff of run of the mill supplement companies. And so if those companies don't change and start to really do science and show that they do science, then consumers are going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's hard though. I think it's hard for a consumer to know if a company is legitimately doing the science or if it's just these claims on the website. Sometimes there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with supplement companies,
Mhm.
and unless you're actually educated in the language or know what to look for, like how do you even know what brand to pick when it's all kind of the same?
Yeah, that's right. It's really, really hard. And there are a lot of smoke and mirrors and facades, right, where companies say they do science and they put up a couple stock photos, right, of labs that aren't even
Mhm.
theirs, right, and they'll talk with an academic, right, and say, hey, can we use your face and your name on our supplement company, even though he or she has nothing to do with the company. So it is hard. There's a few things though. You want to look at patents, not just patent pending, but patents granted. If a formula has a patent granted that's exclusive to them, then that's a good sign that there's something interesting there, something novel. The other thing, like we talked about earlier, is you want to look for clinical studies, and not just clinical studies on a branded ingredient that's in the formula, but clinical studies on the entire formula. Even though you have clinical studies on one ingredient, that doesn't mean, number one, that the ingredient is in that formula at the efficacious amount run in the study. And number two, we always talk about synergy. Well, you could have negative synergy. You know, just because you have a branded ingredient that's supposed to do something beneficial, if you combine it with a bunch of other things, it might actually be less effective. So looking for patents, looking for clinical studies, looking for other professionals, uh, bona fide medical professionals that endorse the brand. Those are some of the things that you should look for that will be helpful.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. I know quite a lot of people who don't take any supplements at all. And so for them, like if they say they eat a mediocre diet and they, you know, mediocre stress, mediocre, like average working out plan, all those types of things, where would they start? Like what nutrients? Yeah, what nutrients do you think are the most important, like low hanging fruit for people for supplements?
Yeah, by far and away, the most important nutrients are these phytonutrients. Even when people
Mm,
eat a mediocre diet, they're still getting vitamins and minerals, right? If you live in a first world country, vitamins and minerals are not a problem. When you turn around your sugary breakfast cereal and you look at the vitamin and mineral count, it's 100% all the way up and down, right? White bread, even snack cakes, right? Things like that. Um,
mhm.
they're fortified in vitamins and minerals. So that's not the problem. The problem is phytonutrients, these small organic compounds that are found in plants. So if someone really wants to get serious or at least get into it, a lot of people think a multivitamin is the way to go, is the first step. And that's not true. Multivitamins, again, if you're already getting vitamins and minerals, they don't help. And clinical studies have shown that multivitamins are not effective for preventative well care. So I would suggest that they take a phytonutrient supplement, a botanical with a lot of different ingredients from different plants. So Connect, that's essentially what it is. We've gone in and we've grabbed really important phytonutrients from 15 or 20 different sources. So all told, we have 300 or 400 phytonutrients in this supplement. And that's the kind of thing that I would suggest people use at the outset. And when they do that, they're going to complement their nutrition, the molecules that they're getting into their body, and they're going to see and feel a difference.
I love that. That is, it's not really talked about, to be honest, like phytonutrients like that, like that specific, um, those specific compounds like that. Like you are actually getting a lot of vitamin and minerals from your cereal, even though it's cereal, because like you said, it's fortified with them. And I really like that approach, and it's very different from what I've heard. So, yeah. This was amazing, and I feel like I just like learned so much within this like short amount of time. So if people are interested in trying your brilliant products, where can they go and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, so they can go to our website, feelbrilliant.com. That's FEEL, brilliant.com. That's our website. We have our 3 products that we're selling. The really cool thing is our product Connect right now, we're doing 1 week for $1. So no strings attached. We're confident with this Connect product, people feel a difference after 1 or 2 doses, which is really unheard of for supplements. And so we're confident people can go there, they could buy it, they could check it out, they could look at our scientific messages that we have. They could read our clinical papers. They could look at our videos. They could read our patents, and they could check it out. If they have any questions, there's a contact form. I look at all those, and I'd love to answer any questions that people have and help them on their health journey to unleash their innate brilliance. It's in there, and we need to pull it out, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I learned a lot, and yeah, I will definitely put all of those links in the show notes.
Thank you, Brittany. You're doing amazing things. Sure appreciate you.
Aw, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, feel free to screenshot this episode and tag me if you'd like me to respond. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you have a question about your health, my DMs are always open and I'm currently taking new clients. Thanks and see you next time.